Just getting started or feeling stuck? Wherever you're at, the VO Dojo is here to help you take your voiceover career all the way. Get the training, support, and connection you need to guide you every step of the way from I don't know to working pro. You get a rock-solid foundation and all the tools you need for your sustained, successful voiceover career. Mindset, skill set, and real-world experience, all in a hands-on, hearts-in, supportive community. Join us at thevodojo.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dojo 21 Questions. I am Tish Hicks, the Master Sensei of the VO Dojo here in Burbank, California, and super excited to be joined by my friend and inspiring colleague, Paula Tiso. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Super fun. I've been studying my questions. Not really. I did look at them. I did look at them briefly.
That's okay. It always flows absolutely organically how this goes. And the idea of this is that when you join us for Ask the Sensei, that we've asked the questions of you so we can focus on answering people's questions. So this is where we get to ask you the questions. So let's start. So first question, what is your one-word check-in for today?
Well, I'm so glad that you explained that to me because I had no idea what that meant. So, so I went with my one-word check-in for the year, which is my one-word check-in for every day. And I have to remind myself, it's a challenge that I pose. And the word that I picked for this year was amplify. And it's not necessarily being louder. It's just a boost to everything that I do in my focus. So that's my word for today and for 2026. That's
cool. That's powerful. Yeah. And where are you from originally?
Well, originally I'm from Long Island, though you would never know it. But at one point you would have believed it. But moved out to California right before I started high school.
Oh, wow.
And so then after college and some traveling, I decided to come back. And I was down in North San Diego County for those years. But after college, then my husband, Paul, and I decided we'd move up to LA. So we've been here a very long time.
Cool. Where do you live in LA?
We're on the west side.
Awesome. Good. And what would we know your voice from?
That is a good question. And I think I gave some thought to that because I don't really look back at stuff and what would people know my voice from. I work in a lot of different areas of voiceover. So I think I'll start with what my main focus is these days is documentary narration. And so one of my favorite things that I narrated was a show for Smithsonian Channel called Genghis Khan's Mongolia. And I've done several true crime series. The latest one that I've done is called Feuds Turned Fatal, and I think that's on HBO Max. If you've traveled to Tokyo and gone to Disneyland, I am the parade and safety announcer, the female American, because there's a female guy too.
Get up, girl. I'm gonna go now just to hear you.
That's right. I know. I've been wanting to go. I've been doing this for years, but anyway, I also have a voice in the park here in LA. I'm in Rise of the Resistance, that ride. Several different little things. One thing is kind of like a droid voice in the beginning when you come. I don't know, have you been on that ride?
Yeah, I have. It's been a little while. So
yeah, when you go into the waiting room before, you go in and everybody's milling about, I have a voice. That's there. Cool. And then I also did some walla for the fighter pilots from when you get attacked and all that, the background voices. So that was fun.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of voiceovers. And you didn't know you heard Paul, but you
That's
did.
Right. That's why I was like, would they know that was me? No. I've worked in video games, but it's not really my focus these days. But Fallout 76, Wastelanders, I was Duchess. That was a super fun character. Fire Emblem, I'm Orochi. In the No More Heroes franchise, I'm Sylvia Christel. And something that everybody kind of knows who plays video games is Final Fantasy. So Final Fantasy X, years ago, I am the voice of Lulu. So that's a big one. People love that character, and she was a fabulous character.
Right.
So that's my answer to that. Kind of involved
great things and I love that there's so many so many different places. And what a beautiful range too, to be able to do all of those things. That's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Now, who is your current team? And I'll let you define what that means.
Um, yeah, so I'm with Atlas Talent.
Mhm,
I started out with them as a New York agent years ago.
mhm,
And when they came over to LA, I moved across the board.
mhm.
I think they're fantastic. And recently, I've been working with Celia Siegel Management.
Oh, fantastic. That's cool.
Yeah, because I decided to get into political, um,
Mhm.
which has been really fun. I made a demo and I've booked off the demo already. So I think we did something right with the demo.
That's cool. That's cool. And I always think that's really interesting. You know, we're all on the journey from I don't know to working pro, and it doesn't end that we always figure out like, oh, I'm at the top agency, and what else? So it's really cool to hear
Yeah.
how you've been how you have two people on your team that way. Well, I mean, obviously there's more than two people, but two places.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I had never really ventured into political because I used to do a lot of affiliate for news stations across
Mm,
the country. And that work has changed so much. The landscape of local news has changed so much.
mm,
Um, it was becoming, I still have a couple of stations, but not what I used to do. It's
mm-hmm.
depressing. It's depressing. They're taking the local out of local news. It's sad. And a female voice on news stations has always been a secondary voice. It's going to be a guy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like to admit, but it's true.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's why I decided, you know what? I don't have to be avoiding political anymore because
Oh,
with
right, because you had
news,
to take that into account,
right?
right?
It's news.
Yeah.
I'm appealing to the broad base of everybody who listens to that TV station, and yeah, I had to be aware of that.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
interesting.
why. That's why I moved into this.
Yeah. And what is your current setup? It looks like you have a beautiful space. What is your tech setup? What is your tech setup now and what did you start with? I always think that's, you know, a lot of these questions help people go like, "Oh, other people have evolved to where they are."
Sure,
Yours
sure,
came
sure,
full
sure.
blown from Zeus's head. Yeah.
Well, my husband Paul, who's also a voice actor,
Hmm.
we had our first studio back in, I hate to say this, oh my God, it was 2000. But that was our first studio, and it
Turn of
was
the
a closet.
century.
It was a closet in the middle of the house. Um, and actually, Disney Imagineering came for a session and sat outside my closet door because I was about to have a baby and I couldn't go over the hill, and they needed a session for Tokyo Disneyland. And so so Brian came over the hill and sat in my office right outside my studio door.
Oh
I
my
had
God,
one.
that's a brilliant origin story.
Right. I know. So yes, we've had very many different iterations of our studio. Now, this is a live room. It's our studio.
Hmm.
We are part of Soundbox West Side.
Yes.
And so we have outside clients come in for auditions or sessions, and Paul's the engineer. I'm kind of the studio manager and hospitality hostess.
Hmm.
But he's the guy with the skills.
Hmm.
And we actually had this Tuesday, we had a podcast who had Sterling K. Brown came in. And so that was a little thrilling.
Oh, that's
I mean,
cool.
they're all thrilling. It's so much fun to have people coming and using our space and they love it. And we love it.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so what do we have? We have a 416
Hmm.
Sennheiser. We have a U87 back there.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of your traditional microphones, kind of
Yeah.
a setup. I
Well,
know that
especially since you're a studio, so you need to be like, what do we need for this job in addition to
exactly.
your own jobs? Yeah, that's cool.
Exactly. And yeah, so Disneyland was the one that turned me on to the U87 because whenever I go out there, they mark their microphones for the talent.
Oh,
So
wow.
they'll bring out the same microphone because they want the same sound
Wow.
consistency.
Not
Yeah,
only the same make of microphone, the exact same
I
microphone. Boy,
believe so.
wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, so super fun. That's what our setup is. We record on Pro Tools because like I said, we've been doing this forever. And Paul, he's certified in different areas of the engineering
Hmm.
space. And so
Yeah.
I've learned, my little anthill of how do you, right? Because Pro Tools can do so much.
Yes, and I find when you're adjacent to technical genius, and this is my experience, when you're adjacent to technical genius, you don't have to be a technical genius.
I know.
Like,
I
okay,
can run
it's so
my own sessions. I can
technical.
run, but I always have Paul in my back pocket, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome. Um, yeah, and then we'll see if we can give like how we can give your soundbox information and how you
Okay.
work with people there. Um, yeah, because people can book sessions with you, right? Like
Yes. Yeah.
if you
That's through
need a
the Soundbox website, and Michelle is the scheduler for all the
Mhm.
studios. And yeah, we do, just auditions. We have people who regularly come in for auditions.
Mhm.
Paul's also really good at coaching.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
cool. That's cool.
so yeah, so we have people who regularly come in. We have a woman who comes in from Oxnard like a couple of times a week.
Wow.
Yes, she doesn't want to have to deal with it at home, so she she likes to come here, and we love her coming here.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's fabulous. Awesome. Well, we kind of got we got a sense of the scope of amazing things that you've done, but what is your origin story? How did you get started?
Oh, well, so when we first came up to LA, we were doing a lot of sketch comedy around town, and
Mm-hmm.
we were involved with a few different groups. And we were both working like survival jobs,
Mm-hmm.
food service, department stores, all that stuff. We did all that as we were doing our comedy at night, comedy at night, right? And so I decided at one point after like a couple of years of that I wanted to take a step back and reevaluate. Um, so I got a day job. A friend of mine had been hired at SBV, and they needed a new assistant. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try for this. And I got the job. And I worked my way up from receptionist into the room where I was the assistant for the agents, and then I was a booth recorder. And
Wow.
and during that time, I discovered, as I had hoped I'd find something that, well, this is what I want to do, right? So I
Yeah.
started training while I was working at SBV, and I didn't. This wasn't like common knowledge to Rita Venari or anybody like that.
Right, right.
A little later about that, what happened there.
Mhm.
So I was training. I did like Chris Zimmerman and Charlie Adler and Pat Fraley and Lane Craig, all the usual suspects. Did all my training, and still doing sketch comedy around town. And one night, producer from CBS came to our show and just so happened to be having lunch with Rita Venari the next morning, and mentioned, "Hey, you should check out this young woman I saw in a sketch comedy show, Paula Tiso. She's great." Well, Rita came back. I was working diligently at my desk, and she knocked on my desk in front of my face and said, "My office." So I was like, "Oh, what's happening?" So anyway, she was just like, "What are you doing? You've been training? I didn't know, blah, 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 blah." She wasn't mad or anything, but it was a surprise to her. She didn't know.
Mhm.
So fast forward, everything's cool. Uh,
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, she was happy for you. She was like, come on, let's go. Or
she wasn't happy. She just kind of was like
she wasn't
information.
happy.
It was
Okay.
information that she stored because I was doing a good job there. They liked me.
Hmm.
Anyway, so on our way to having our first baby, I decided I was going to step away from a full-time job, 9:30 to 6:30, not getting home till 7 o'clock at night, blah, blah, blah. And Rita Venari decided to gift me signing me as a client. So she did.
Oh wow.
That's how I got started.
Wow. Yeah. That's a really powerful path because you know everything about every aspect of the business and you combined doing the acting and the comedy. Wow, that's cool. And so it began because you knew the work, you did the work for yourself, and then this amazing opportunity aligned. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. And before I left, I had 3 auditions, just to say, hey, let's throw these at Paula. And I did book a couple of those auditions.
Mm-hmm.
and one was Purina Kitten Chow.
That's perfect.
I know it's all about mother's milk, right? And I'm like, oh my
Oh,
God, I
yes,
guess
I know
I'm just
that.
exuding maternal vibes, except for cats, which is also, I worked at a cat shelter for many years and cat rescue. Anyway, but that's a different
That's
story for another
perfect.
time.
Well, it's kind of cool though, because sometimes a lot of the work we do is like what resonates with you, what are you sharing your actual truth about, and so it makes sense that you booked the kitten chow, the baby cat, because you love cats and you're in that mode. That makes total sense. Not that we have to go get pregnant to book a diaper thing, but
Right. No,
when you're in it, it resonates. So
right, right.
that's really cool. That's really cool. Um, wow. And then it just took off from there?
It did. So there wasn't I didn't have the time to work another job. And
Hmm.
so I threw myself in. And
So you, yeah.
as you know, back in the day, Paul and I would pinch hit who'd stay home with the baby and who would go out on
Mhm.
auditions. And as you know, back in those days, we were driving across town, over the hill, back to your agency, back over the hill into Hollywood every day for all those
Mhm.
auditions. And it worked out. So
Mhm.
I went from, having like a month and a half off to recover to working full time as a voice actor.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And my older son is 23 and he was in the booth when he was 2 weeks old
Right.
back in the day. Yeah. Yeah. And I was back in the booth because he realized that, oh, voiceover is actually a really good way to make money rather
Oh,
than being
wow.
another thing. So yeah. What would you say are the top three ingredients in your success?
I would say tenacity,
Hmm.
focus, and balance.
Mm.
Because you could be as tenacious as you want to be. And, as you know, with voiceover, it'll knock you right down. You'll be
Hmm.
like, hi, and I booked this and everything's fab. And then you lose something that's huge or you get replaced on something. We all get
Hmm.
replaced and you're knocked to your low is low and you have to just get back up. And you can be as tenacious as all that, but you also have to give yourself time to recover. And that's where the balance comes in. So
Hmm.
so focus is obvious. We all need focus. What do we want to achieve every day? It's like you set your intention
Hmm.
and every day is different. But I felt that I needed to kind of shut it down by 6 o'clock in the evening
Hmm.
because otherwise I was not focusing on, the other things in my life that are valuable, family,
Right.
my peace of mind, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's another thing that's different, um, we've been doing, I'm always like, remember Paula back in the day, like, yeah, because we've been doing this forever. Um, but I do think that it is one of the things that has become ever more important to focus on as you're building because there's so much that is required. Even our agents, even, our representatives, like, oh, that like things are happening all the time and in different time zones and like you can do this 24 hours a day and you mustn't do this 24 hours a day and
That
we
is
have
exactly
to
right.
we're responsible for so much more. Remember back in the day when we just walked in, we just had to walk in and say the words, yay. We drove, yeah, but yeah, so that's really really powerful. And I think for people to know that wherever you are in your journey, we're all creating that balance. um, yeah, sometimes I like to use the word harmony too.
Mm-hmm.
Balance is like two things, but yeah, that how do we live our lives and have our voiceover lives as well? That's great. Yeah. So it's tenacity, focus, and balance. Yeah. Um, well, it sounds like in your story that it could be the big break, but if you believe in something that is a big break, what would you say was your big break, if there was one?
I would say definitely what happened in the story that I
Hmm.
just related. That
Good.
was my big break because without that, it would have still happened, but not, smoothly transitioning from
Right.
one part of my life to another.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
that
Yes.
that
Yes.
was definitely it. But there was preparation that went into that.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it was, a couple of years in advance of that, just getting ready, as you
Mhm.
know. when preparation meets opportunity, right? Is that something to do with that saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it fell into place, and that was definitely my big break, I would say.
Yeah. And then in terms of for you, the time between starting VO and making your full-time living was short because you had front end loaded understanding all sides of the business from doing that from both the business end of understanding what an agent's day is and who the clients are, and then from in terms of developing your direction skills because you were running the booth. So
Right.
like you knew everything from all those. So from when you got the job at SBV to when Rita said, "And I bequeath you," how much time was that? Because I think that's an interesting
I
question.
think it was about 3 years.
3 years. Cool. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, super good, super good. And you talked about all the other things that you did before that. So yeah, because we all do those things. What are you most proud of in your voiceover career?
You know, I also gave some thought to that. I think what I'm most proud of is that I'm still here. That um like I said, there's ups, there's downs, there's just
Mhm.
time when you're just like, oh my God, did you know, like I'm waiting for the bus and it never showed up. You know, like did they move the bus? Am I no longer doing this? Right.
I had a
Um
voiceover career in Africa.
where I thought this was the bus stop for my voiceover. But yeah, so I would say, you know, transitioning from one type of work to the next, I think I've used this analogy before, but it's kind of like Tarzan and Jane swinging from vine to vine,
Mm,
right? And we'll say that Jane learned how to do that just as well as Tarzan
mhm,
because we're
mhm.
women,
Right.
and just swinging from vine to vine and keeping that momentum going, and and not falling into the pit of despair, because I mean we all can go there. I'm not trying to be like too heavy here. It's just that it's a rough and competitive
Mhm.
career.
Yeah, and we got to keep in motion and keep the momentum
Exactly.
going and keep reaching out for where we're going next and finding the timing of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't believe in reinventing yourself. I don't think anybody reinvents themselves. They rediscover parts of
Ooh.
themselves that they just were like overlooking, and these parts of yourself that you are like, oh my gosh, this is going to help me, or yeah, that's exactly what I always was thinking that I wanted to do. This is perfect timing, whatever. It's
Yeah,
rediscovery.
I
um
love that. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I'm most proud of. It's because it's tough, but also, as you well know, we love our work. We love doing this. When we're working, nothing is better. Nothing is better. And when we get those great auditions, it's also fantastic. It's fun, it's challenging, it's creative, it just energizes, right? So yeah, that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah, beautiful. And on the other side, because we always have this holistic, there's top and bottom or yin and yang of everything. What is your biggest fear or challenge in your voiceover career?
Well, I think like everybody, when you're freelancing and the work slows down, the biggest fear is like, am I going to make pay all my bills next month?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just like that is the, you know, kind of like the underlying thing that
Mm-hmm.
I think people can't dwell on. You have to focus on what your solution is to that. And
Mm-hmm.
that could be getting another job. It could be whatever it is that you need to do, but it's a fear. And I think that would be it, you know, just like, and after all these years, I still, I'm still like, oh my God, are we still making it work? The two of us both do the same thing. If I had only married a lawyer, right?
So that's
So,
that's that's a good testament. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so I think that's it. I mean, I don't think I have any other great fears
mm-hmm.
across the board
Yeah, yeah,
in the wondrous world of voiceover.
yeah. That's cool. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I would say I'm a metrovert. I am definitely not an extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I can be introverted at times, like, when you need to cocoon and get away from it all. But then there's times when I really just have to get out and see people and I have to be part of it. And so is that the word, metrovert, when you're like in between?
Yeah, it's as good as any because what I love is that it's like encompasses all. Like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I love asking that question because I think everyone lands on that spectrum, and this work requires that we really find that metra, that place where the part of us that is, energized by people, we need to go out and do that, and then that part of us that's sitting by ourselves alone in a box is also part of the job. So you need to kind of really figure out how to do both and
Yes.
cultivate that. Yeah. Um, if you could do voiceover from anywhere, where would it be?
I think it would be Los Angeles.
Ah, your dream come true.
It is. It is. And I'll tell you why. I can get in my car
Mm-hmm.
and I could drive to a soundstage and I can do a dub and I
Mm-hmm.
could be around people
Mm-hmm.
and act, because dubbing is acting. That's
Mm-hmm.
so I started doing the live action dubbing in probably 2019. And I remember because I did one show going out to the studio, VSI, and then the pandemic. And then all of a sudden, we were all in our studios and we were dubbing from our studios. Now,
Wow.
there's a delay that you have to deal with. And definitely now they want you back in the studio, but you can dub from your own studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more challenging. And they have to
Mm-hmm.
move your audio a little bit more than if you were in the studio dubbing it to picture.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say LA. And if I had a second choice, I'd say Maui.
Oh, very good. Although I did work from Maui for 3 months, and it makes your day very, very early in Maui
Yes.
because it's really, if West Coast is far away, you're like, oh, 4 a.m. Okay, I'm used to 6 a.m. Like 3 a.m. Okay, yeah.
That is
So
true.
yeah, but that's yeah,
Wow.
cool. Yeah. What would you say your VO motto is? I know we've got your stand for the year. What's your VO motto?
I would say, I think that every job that you get um, presents the opportunity to get better at your craft.
Mm.
And so waking up every morning and I'm just like, what's going to happen today? You never know. And so I think my motto would be something like, I kind of was like doodling. Um, it's show up, keep learning, repeat.
Beautiful. Yep.
I mean, you got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's step one.
Yep.
But then you have to be open. I don't think that I ever had a job where I walked in even from an audition, that
Mm-hmm.
I walked in and I was absolutely right about what the director was going to ask me to do.
Yeah.
There's never been a job like that.
Mm.
It can come out of left field. It could be something completely different and they picked you for a reason that you don't know. And so you have to be as open as possible, because if you've memorized the script and you're like, I know what I'm doing, you're wrong.
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 Wrong. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
sometimes you might be absolutely right, and especially if you're working with a team that you're part of that team and you've
Mm.
been collaborating on the same product or
Yeah.
show, then of
Exactly.
course. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like these one-off jobs. I
Yeah.
think it's just, you just have to be open. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just show up, keep learning, and repeat.
That's beautiful. I always think of it like being a musician that's such a good musician that you can walk into any room and jam. Like, oh, ready to jam? Okay, we're gonna go. Okay, that's the chord we're starting with. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Like, and then you can just riff. Like that
Yes.
collaboration, but being such a good musician that you're like, oh yeah, I can change that tempo. Like, what are we making? What are we playing here?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Especially to go back to dubbing, it's like, you could be high as a kite, like, I have a job, I'm heading over to that stage, I'm so excited. You got your little latte in your hand, you walk in, and they're like, okay, you're a mom, your son was just burned to death in a fire. You have to get in front of this crowd and talk to all the other parents who lost their kids and let them know what happened. Okay, we'll look through the scene once. And you're just like, oh my
I'll put
God.
my coffee down.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we're doing. It's like, insane,
Yes.
insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it is like being a musician.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Now, what's a typical VO day for you? Like, because you have the studio, you have your own work. Your kids are grown-ups now, so you have a different daily relationship with them, I'm
Right.
assuming. Yeah.
Right.
Because that's a whole nother thing when you're
When you got the little ones at home.
I've got like a roll, like my Cinema Paradiso roll of all the kisses that were taken out of the movies. Of like I have a roll of just the kids at various different ages walking into the booth, like, "Hey, mom, like, hold on a second, honey. Okay, come sit with me." Like, but anyway, what's your daily? Like, oh, remember when children were small? Oh yeah.
I know. I miss those days. I miss them.
Yeah. But what's a typical day for you like now in your voiceover
Well, I always get up
role?
early. Um, Still ingrained from the early days of children, and also from the um, affiliate news because they were all across the country.
I
So
was
it
going
was
to
like
say also having working with East Coast clients. Yep.
exactly. So yeah, so
I'm
getting up early is a good thing. I say that if it's a just like a kind of a regular day, I will be working on some administrative stuff to start the
mhm,
day. I like to start out with any marketing things that I might need to achieve,
mhm.
any social media posting. I have a series that I narrate called Just a Minute with Paula Tiso that I do. I write, voice, and then I produce videos. I
Goodness.
hire a human to edit my videos,
Yes,
and
because
I
that
use
is the
that. I
nurse's
use
job.
that to remain warmed up and ready at all times for my narration. So yeah, social media posting, administrative stuff. I try to get that done. Have an hour. I also volunteer. I'm on the administrative board for NAVA, so I work on the membership committee, and I also work on the education committee. And
Mhm.
so I'm sending out emails to guest instructors or just, vetting, looking through applications and making sure that they're, ready to be part of NAVA, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then I move into the booth for any auditions that I might have. I try to do my auditions the night before
Mhm.
if I can. But if I get something that comes in last minute, then I'll get into the booth for some auditions. Of course, I'm sharing the booth with my husband. So
Mhm.
I have to actually put it in the calendar at what time I want,
Oh, right. And you have studio time that you're booking out too.
which
So,
also goes
right,
into
yeah.
the calendar. So we always know if we're having an outside client coming in, and we
Mhm.
do have a booth in our house as well if for
Mhm.
overflow if we need to, and we have too much going on out here. But I
Mhm.
definitely prefer being in here.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so we do have an overflow booth in the house that we could use in case of emergency. So yeah, so that's just like all day long. If there's stuff coming in or anything like that, we're in and out of the booth and getting that stuff done. If we have sessions, of course, then we've booked that time in the studio
Right.
and everybody's aware, everybody being Paul and myself. So that's like a typical day.
Yeah, cool, 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 cool. And last question. Knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself at the beginning of your career?
I would just be more confident and relaxed because, even though I was prepared, there were things that kind of threw me when I was going in on different kinds of auditions. Pretty much the character stuff made me
Mm,
more nervous than commercial wasn't a problem or anything else that I was working on. But any character stuff, I would just get a little more. Not video game. I was always a little bit better at. For some reason, video game didn't throw me, but it was like any animation or anything like that.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it just kind of. So I would just be more confident walking into the room for those kind of things. Just you got it. You can do this.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, well, Paula, thank you so much for taking the time
Of
and
course.
answering questions about you and sharing your journey. It's always so inspiring to hear where everyone's started and how it's gone and how it's going, because we're all on the path together still. Like that it doesn't stop. So that's good. So we'll be looking forward to having you on Ask the Sensei, and I'll make sure that we get all the links to all the beautiful things that you're doing in the world, your podcast, and um, I think most people know about Nava, but in case they're listening and don't, we can, just getting all the things and how to connect with Soundbox. So thank you so much. And
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been
yeah,
very fun, and I look forward to April 1st.
yes, April Foost. Okay.
Oh, I better be prepared.
No kidding. All right, we'll see you then.
All right. Thanks, Tish.